It is great to have you along here on the platform with me, Leah Panapa. The Mental Health Foundation is asking the public to sign an open letter to the Ministry of Education opposing the removal of the Relationships and Sexuality Education Guidelines, RSE, in schools and kura. Fern Hickson is the spokesperson for Resist Gender Education. She says that it is unnecessary at best and mischief, making it worse. Fern's with us now. Hello, Fern.
Hi, Leah.
Lovely to talk to you, Fern. I know you're no stranger to the platform, but for us to have it's our first convo, so welcome. And
thank you.
And being on my show, different time of the day, can you, for the listeners, just give us a quick rundown of who are and when did you start the Resist Gender Education group, I gather?
Oh, yes, we're a group of parents and educators and just general sex realists, and we formed about 4 years ago, but we got our name Resist Gender Education in 2021 or 2, and we advocate for scientifically factual and age-appropriate education in schools, sex education in schools. The problem with the RSE guide that we currently have that was introduced in 2020 is it's not scientifically factual, and quite often it's not age-appropriate as well. For example, they teach 5-year-olds that everybody has a gender identity, and this is at a stage where children still don't have a really fixed concept of what sex is. So the education system is actually disrupting the natural development of an understanding of sex by introducing a nebulous concept like gender identity, which a lot of people disagree with.
And Fern, you said there's a group of, is there teachers in there, ex-teachers? What's your background,
yes,
if you don't mind me asking?
Broad range. We're all women, actually, because we found each other through feminist groups. Mm-hmm. But we've got a broad range, all the political groups, all the political ideologies, and we've got lesbians, we've got straight people, we've got current teachers and retired teachers, we've got parents and non-parents as well. So we're a really broad range of people working on this. We're all volunteers, and we have a website and a Substack.
Fern, I wonder, before we get to this letter, have you had people contact you that are still in the education system, maybe they are teaching, who are not happy with what they're having to be teaching and quietly have come to you? Has that ever been something that's happened?
Absolutely, yes, yeah. Absolutely, and some of the people are in our group. But apart from the people in our group, we get letters from teachers and sometimes from principals saying that they disagree with the RSE guide. And of course, the boards of trustees do have the final say of whether they follow the guide or not. And there are a lot of schools that aren't following the guide.
Right.
However, if you're a teacher in a school that is following the guide and you disagree with it, it's extremely hard to speak up against it because you're immediately labelled as a bigot. And as the Mental Health Foundation just said, there were conservative religious people. You're not allowed to have a different opinion without being called names.
Mm. Have we had in the past, I was trying to look, I think we have of teachers that have lost their jobs or their teaching licence because they've refused to recognise a student's gender identity or use pronouns?
There was a case, yes, there was a case in, I think it was probably in 2023, where a teacher was sent to the teaching council, the disciplinary board, and he wasn't technically, he had his teaching licence cancelled, his registration cancelled, so he can't be a teacher in New Zealand anymore. However, it wasn't technically because he wouldn't use the pronouns of a student. That's what started the complaint.
Right.
But in the end, why he was his registration was cancelled is because he, in my opinion, inadvisedly represented himself at the council and didn't do a very good job of it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So yes, there is a case of somebody who's lost their job, but it's not sort of a clear-cut case.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's get to this letter, Fern. So the Mental Health Foundation, as I said before we came to you, is asking the public to sign this open letter to the Ministry of Education, opposing the removal of the RSE guidelines for schools and kura. Now, what you've said, it's unnecessary at best and mischief making at worst. What are you most worried about or upset about this?
Well, as soon as I read it, I was really annoyed because it's misrepresenting the coalition agreement, and the coalition agreement is to remove and replace the current RSC guide to remove the gender ideology from it. So there's no intention to have no relationships and sexuality education in schools at all. The government has just agreed that they're going to rewrite it to take out the ideology. But the Mental Health Foundation open letter ignored the word replace and misled the public. And so a lot of people signing the document actually think they're signing a document to retain REC, whereas, because they think the MHS has misled them to think that if they don't sign it, the government's just going to take out RSE altogether and kids at school will receive no sex education.
Yeah, I get it. So they haven't, so there has been a bit sneaky there by, they haven't emphasised the agreement to replace, which is what the government and Minister Erica Stanford made clear.
Yeah.
Basically saying that, if you don't sign this, all RSE's going out the window.
That's right.
And the kids do need it,
when they had that, the day when the letter came out, the first few days it was out, the open letter, it just didn't even have the word replace in it altogether at all. It wasn't there. So people did point out to them that was actually not true. And so I believe that they have changed the text now to have replace in the letter, but it still gives the impression that the current RAC guide is, rock solid, best practice, and people are signing it believing that they're signing for good quality sex education. But if anyone knows anything about the CAS review, which came out a week or so ago, they know that our RSE guide is, our criticism of it is completely vindicated by what CAS said in the CAS review.
And this is, Fern, this is, for those listening, this is eminent paediatrician, Dr. Hilary Cass.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she contracted in the UK to review